So Battlefront 3 is back like it never left, hitting record numbers on Steam and taking the world by storm. But the biggest question that I know that I have and many other gamers out there have is, where is Battlefront 3? So today we're going to talk about why that hasn't happened yet and what it could possibly take to have that happen. So if that's interesting to you and you happen to be new here, it's your boy Grandpa Casual. I do gaming news, I do gaming reviews, and overall discussions about gaming. So if that is your vibe, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe because we make videos like this all the time. All right, so Battlefront 2 is trending again. All right, it hit record numbers on Steam this past weekend, and the community is looking crazier than ever. I'm seeing Star Wars memes again. I'm seeing Star Wars clips on TikTok again. It is up there. It feels like it's 2017 out this joint. It is May, and I know there's a number of events that may have been the catalyst for this thing, like May the 4th and the series finale of shows like Andor. And I gotta say, I'm kind of happy to see it. I was one of those people who sat in the lobby for 3, 5, maybe 15 minutes trying to get a game. Nobody was playing. I'm like, man, the game is dead. I really love this game. Starfighter Assault was my joint. I still love it to this day. And I'm just glad to see that the community is back. The servers are running. People are playing. There are people to play with finally. It's an awesome time out here right now. And if you happen to not know the history of Battlefront 2, there are tons of videos out there where they talk about how this thing started out with the whole loot box controversy and things like that. Those days are far behind it, and it is a great game today. Like, amazing. It just seems like a game that could have dropped in 2025 and been a banger. But even with all this, the question still remains, where is Battlefront 3? Why haven't we gotten a Battlefront 3? Well, for one point, for a limited amount of time, EA actually had an exclusive license to Star Wars. So they were the only ones that could make Star Wars games. So we had to rely on EA if we wanted anything. But those days are behind us. Now we have studios like Respawn making Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, things like that. We have Massive making Star Wars Outlaws. So there's a lot more variety in the studios that can make Star Wars games. But the biggest question is, what would it take to actually make that happen? And we could say the biggest box has been checked when we talk about demand, because this past weekend, not only did we surpass Steam numbers and break records, we crashed the servers. So many people were trying to play the game that the servers literally crashed, which is crazy because this is a game that came out in 2017, but it shows that there is demand there. But I personally think that it has to go a lot deeper than Steam numbers and a server crash for Disney to actually pay attention. Now, don't get me wrong. This is definitely a money-making opportunity for Disney. They know that, and I'm sure that it crept up the line somewhere and it's gotten to somebody or gotten to some level where somebody knows, like, hey, people are really into Battlefront 2. Right? Maybe we should talk about Battlefront 3. I don't know. I got a feeling that those conversations are being had. But also, one thing that we have to consider when it comes to the whole thing is the slate of games that they have in the pipeline currently. They wouldn't take those games out of the pipeline and just swap them out with a Battlefront 3. There's a whole process. You have your pre-production, you have your production, you have all the little things, the hiring that goes into making the game. Now, I don't know the inner workings behind the scenes when it comes to EA, Disney, and everything Star Wars, because if EA themselves are not going to do it, it's likely going to be another studio. So I'm not sure if EA would come back on or be able to come back on, but I would love for EA to come back on for Battlefront 3 for the simple fact that they have the formula already. They've got the sauce. They know what to do. They've done it before, and they're kind of building off of what they already have. A new studio now will have to start from scratch. So that means new ideas, new directions, and that means that it wouldn't be a Battlefront 2 upgrade as much as it would be a reimagining of the Battlefront franchise. So we will see different things changing. Maybe they'll pull some ideas from things that happened previously, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a brand new thing. It's going to be its own thing based on the identity, the culture, and the direction of the studio that would take over the Battlefront franchise. But could another studio actually pull off Battlefront 3? I believe another studio could, because people are really in love with Battlefront 2 and what EA has done, myself included. It was an amazing game from the start. I didn't get in during the whole loot box controversy and things like that, the monetization stuff. So I came after the fact. And when I brought the game, I got everything. I got everything that they were nickeling and diming people for pretty much for free. The only thing I didn't get, obviously, was a progression, but that's fine. But another studio taking the helm, it means that we could probably get a fresh take that we didn't expect and make something even better than what we had before. But at the same time, with the way that games are going, it's kind of scary because games don't turn out the way that we like all the time these days. A lot of times games are missing features, they're lacking heart, and they seem to be more money driven than actually passion. I feel like Battlefront 2 was made by a team that had passion, that really loved Star Wars and really loved the Star Wars universe. And I would only hope that the next studio that comes would actually be one that feels the same exact way. If that were to happen, I don't know if that would be the case, but that's just the best case scenario that I could think of when it comes to that. One of the things that I know I would want for sure is whatever they were talking about when they were talking about the details of what Battlefront 3 was supposed to be, where you can literally hop in a TIE fighter or hop in an X-Wing and fly from the surface and then start getting into space combat. That would have been insane. That right there would have just taken the game to the stratosphere and probably would have been my favorite Star Wars game of all time at the end of the day, because I love spaceships. I love space combat. Starfighter Assault is my jam. That is my joint. That is probably one of the main game modes that I play. I love it. It's fun. I just feel like a dynamic combat system like that in an FPS Star Wars game would probably be like the dream of many a player out there. So that's definitely something I would want in the game if it were to be made. And obviously, whatever studio takes it on, they would have to learn from the past and not do any paid to win stuff, because that would just ruin the game entirely. But you never know, man. So with the way that things go with studios these days, you kind of never know what you're going to get. But I'm just hoping for the best when it comes to that. At the end of the day, all gamers really need is a clean Star Wars experience with real support made from a team that has love and passion for the Star Wars universe. And I think that it would be something great. But that's just my take. Let me know what you think. Have you been playing Battlefront 2? Are you looking forward to a Battlefront 3? Are you really fiending for it like I am? Let me know in the comments. I'm always down to have conversations with you all. Outside of that, if you're into having casual, grounded conversations surrounding gaming, consider liking and subscribing. With that said, thanks so much for chilling with me today, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.